Warrior's Curse. This is the story of Kale, a warrior whose strength was unmatched, but whose heart carried a burden heavier than any blade. A story of betrayal, redemption, and the journey to restore harmony to a cursed land. If at the end you like this story, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. The sun rises over a vast African savanna. A lone warrior stands on a cliff overlooking his village. In the land of Bantuvala, where the ancestors' whispers ride the wind, lived a warrior named Kyle. He was the pride of his people, brave, skilled, and undefeated. But behind his strength was a terrible secret, a choice that brought ruin to all he loved. Years ago, during a desperate war, Kyle stole the sacred talisman of the ancestors. It was a powerful relic meant to protect the village, not for personal gain. But Kyle used it to secure victory, ignoring the warnings of the elders. The flashback shows Kyle triumphing on the battlefield, but the scene fades into wilting crops and dry riverbeds in the village. Kyle's victory came at a cost. The talisman's misuse angered the ancestors. A curse fell on the land, famine, sickness, and strife. The people turned against one another, and Kyle's triumph became his greatest shame. Kyle sits alone at night, haunted by nightmares of the ancestors. Each night, Kyle dreamed of the ancestors. Their faces were filled with sorrow. But one night a vision appeared, a child glowing with light, who spoke with the voice of the ancestors. The child spirit appears, pointing toward the distant mountains. Child spirit, soft, echoing voice. Kale, redemption lies not in your sword, but in your surrender. Return the talisman to the sacred shrine. Kale left his village, carrying the talisman and the weight of his guilt. Through scorching deserts and dense jungles, he faced the spirits of his past and the trials of the land. Each step tested Kyle's strength, but also his spirit. He began to understand the truth. Power meant nothing without humility. Finally, Kyle arrived at the sacred shrine. He knelt before it, placed the talisman on the altar, and bowed his head. The ancestors appear around Kale in shimmering light. The ancestors' voices filled the air. Ancestor voice, echoing, layered. Kale, you have shown remorse. In returning what was stolen, you have restored balance. The curse was broken. The village flourished once more. Kale returned not as a warrior, but as a healer, teaching his people the value of humility and unity. Kale sits under a baobab tree. Children gathered around him as he tells his story. Kale's tale became a legend, a reminder that even the greatest strength must bow to the will of the ancestors. And so, the warrior's curse lives on, carried by the winds of Bantuvala. Fascinating, isn't it? On Saturday is going to be more fascinating. Don't go nowhere. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button.